It's the 2 Minute Hacks Podcast with your host with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That He. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hacks Podcast.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy Friday, man. It's a beautiful Friday. And man, we are excited about another episode of the 2 Minute Podcast, man. This your host with the most, Tony Mays, Lavelle Salter. And we just excited about today, man. Everything is everything, as they say. And we just love the fact that we're able to bring relative content, man, and things that are applicable to, if not all, most of our lives. And just understanding that, man, what we try to do too is just help people become better versions of themselves. You know, it's not always that people, people like to, especially today, people don't always want to share what's going on with them personally. And so I think when we have a platform like this where we're able to talk about different topics and subjects and things that apply to people's lives in a way that helps other people. And then I try to be, you guys know, I try to be as transparent about my life and things that have happened. Good morning, Paulette. Things that have happened in my life. I try to be as transparent, even in my relationship. I try to be as transparent as possible without giving too much information or putting my wife out there or myself out there like that. But anything that I can do to try to help us become better versions of ourselves is what this podcast is all about. So with that in mind, the topic today kind of reflects that in a way. It kind of talks about or asks the question, what person, place, or thing has had the most impact on your life and who you are today. And I think that's important and essential to understand. What things have influenced or impact your life to the point, and it's made you who you are today. Now, if you are a mass murderer, a killer, a hell, starter, keep up a lot of hell, or you very toxic, we ain't talking about you. We want your life to be better, though. We want you to become the better version of yourself, just not more toxicity, more hell, not that. So we want you to be the better version of yourself in a positive way. Excuse me. So with that in mind, I want you guys to really think about, what person, place, or thing has had the most impact on your life and who you are today. We actually kind of talked similar to this, maybe 8-9 months ago or whenever it was. But it was basically, we didn't talk about the person, well, we didn't talk about the place or the thing, but mostly the person that may have impacted your life in a way and kind of shaped you and molded you into the person that you are today. So, but I understand that sometimes, maybe not a person can play a relative part in your life, but a place or a thing. I've seen people that held momentums, uh, that were things that were close to them that reminded them of somebody that kind of, helped shape them and mold them and to the person that they are today. And I've seen places where they just kept a place in mind, whether it was a childhood place or somewhere they always wanted to be, as a goal, and it helped shape them into who they are today. So I didn't want to leave those things off, and I wanted to kind of add those, incorporate those things, those person, place, or things in this today, so we can figure out, or really just kind of talk about it, because whether you know it or not, those things vastly impact your life, whether and not always in a positive way, you know. So um, there are things that have happened to people that have impacted their life in a way that's not positive. You know, I would hope that we would reflect more on the positive things, that have happened, that have shaped your life, as opposed to the negative things. But I do understand that not all things, places, or people have impacted your life in a positive way. So, as always, I'm gonna start this off, man. I think the probably um, a little bit of all of those things that I just talked about, person, places, and things. Because when I look back at my childhood and I think about like my, y'all hear me talk about my granddad, my grandmother and granddad a lot, but uh, my uh, my mom impacted my life, my dad, uh, my siblings. Like I could contribute so much of who I am today, and it may have been that I saw negative things within certain people, and I said I don't want to be like that. That impacted my life. Um, because like my dad was a heavy beer drinker. I never really seen him drink like alcohol, but he was a heavy beer drinker, and I, you know, sometimes you could see people, and then not on that, my granddaddy was a heavy beer drinker. I could see these guys drink, and you know, I could see them become or be somebody that I didn't want to be, and that's why people ask me now, you drink beer? Nope, I don't drink beer. Because that vastly impacted my life in a way that, even though it was a negative thing, I feel like it impacted my life in a positive way because I don't do that. I don't drink beer. I don't really drink alcohol that much. Outside of maybe socially here and there. So I can contribute, those things, and also when I look back at, uh, places, uh, my grandmother's house, man, like that. George Road, bro, was like it just brought back so many memories. It brings back so many memories, and I believe that those memories have impacted my life in a positive way. Uh, in a way that makes me want to create memories for my kids and my grandkids, and I want my house to be that place where my grandkids and great grandkids look back and say, "Man, I used to always remember going over to Poppy house or Papa house or whoever." And we had so much fun, and I want my place where I live to be impactful to my kids and grandkids, like, if that makes sense. So those are just some of the person, places, and things that kind of impacted my life, um, and probably shaped me into who I am today. I mean, there was some other people probably along the way too as well, but I really want to give other people an opportunity to kind of share as well. Lavelle, I know you probably over there thinking, 'cause I know we have topics like this, your mind be just churning over.
Mm.
Mel Max said, "Good morning. My parents, pastor, two young adults, and my bread and butter. Not all good, not all bad. Just love and learn from it all." Okay. Rodney said, "For me, it was the discipline and positive impact of learning Taekwondo as a teenager." Good morning, folks. Okay, so how, like, when you say Taekwondo and learning Taekwondo, because I never really took any martial arts, but I know people that did, and those most of the people that I know that took martial arts are very disciplined, very disciplined. And so how did that just taking martial arts uh I guess I want you to kind of go a little bit more into detail and how that really impacted your life and caused the discipline in your life as a teenager. Can. But and while other people are maybe chiming in, I want to read this. It said people, places, and things have a profound impact on a person's life in numerous ways, shaping their development, well-being, and overall quality of life. The significance of each of these elements uh, are pretty much explored below, and it breaks each one of these elements down. People, social connections and relationships. People, particularly family and friends, provide a sense of belonging, love, and support. Strong social bonds are associated with better mental and physical health outcomes, including longer life expectancy. I didn't know that, including longer life expectancy and improved ability to cope with difficult situations like divorce and illness. Influences in learning, interactions with others expose individuals to diverse perspectives, cultures, traditions, and behaviors, fostering personal growth and learning. Family members, mentors, teachers, and even casual acquaintances can impart valuable lessons and guidance to our life. I'm glad I read that because I hear a lot of people talk about the teachers that impacted their life one way or the other. And I've heard where um, teachers told people, um, individuals, they wasn't gonna be nothing, and they was, man, they went on a mission to prove this person wrong, and then they went back to show the person, look, I become something. You said I wasn't gonna be nothing. I become something. So whatever motivation drove them to becoming or impacting their life, they impacted their life. And then I've seen it where teachers impacted just in a positive way, where they was always there for them, and they were kind of like a mother hen outside of the house, a mother or father hen outside of the house, where they kind of molded them and cultivated them in that learning space. And so uh, I don't remember any teachers. You know, I tried to like look back over my life and look at like any teachers that were like that impactful in my life, and I just can't remember any teachers. Now my high school coach um I think he played, a high school football coach played a very important role in my life, in terms of allowing me to be and recognizing like the talents I had, and allow me to be that person. So I do think like he had an impact in my life, but um I really can't speak I really can't speak for any other like the teachers, in terms of my learning experience. I can't really speak to that. But I do know a lot of people reference teachers all the time, whether in speeches or whatever. They can remember, like I can't do that. Like my second grade teacher, Miss Harstead, she was. I can't recall that. So it is crazy how they can be 40, 50 years old or 30 and then recall a first grade teacher. Like, I can't remember my high school teachers. And they be like, my first grade teacher. But if that person impacted your life in such a way, yeah, I guess you would remember.
Yeah, I can remember all my uh grade school teachers.
Because my memory just not that good, or they weren't that impactful in my life. I guess I don't know.
Well, not just necessarily impactful, just life was different back then. You know what I'm saying? Life was innocent. You know what I'm saying? So and then just the neighborhood that I grew up in, it was such a melting pot, if you will, of just community. You know what I'm saying? Especially by me staying by the school. So I went to Westwood pre-K through 12. They had pre-K as high school, so that's how long. So I'm seeing the teachers leave the neighborhood, come to work, go to work. You know what I'm saying? When they're late. So they was more than just teachers at school. I saw them all the time. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I'm lying. There was one teacher at Oakshire Elementary, Miss London. Miss London, because I kept in touch with Miss London until she passed. To a few years before she passed, I kept. So Miss London did have an impact in my life. So I could say she impacted. She was just a nice, sweet lady and did everything she could to try to help people. But she was stern, she was tough. Uh, but she was sweet, and even her daughter, I kept up with her daughter for a while. One of her daughters for a while. You know.
And not just the teachers, the principals, man. And my grade school teacher, principal, Miss Bowen, uh, man, Miss Opal Bowen, man, was the bomb, man. Like that
That's a
lady.
sweet lady, bro. I met her through my wife because my
You
wife
remember,
worked
you
with
met Miss
her.
Bowen? You met Miss Opal Bowen?
Monica worked for her at Westwood.
Sure did, man.
Yeah,
That lady there, bro. When I tell you, man, when she entered into the room, man, she the
man,
man when she comes in there.
Jazzy, ooh, Jazzy, bro. Oh, Jazzy
Jazz,
lady.
dog, I'm talking about, man. I used to love to come to school just to see her. You know what I'm saying? Come out in the hall and she gonna speak to everybody. And if you ain't doing right, she gonna, man, that lady,
Yep.
that was about different, bro.
Man, I'm telling you, the lady, man, was so nice. Sweet Monica was trying to hook up with my dad at one point.
For real. Ooh-wee. I could almost see
Miss,
it though.
yeah, man, Miss Opal Born, bro. Yep.
Yeah, dog. And that lady, that
Right.
man come out.
Rodney said it was many things: encouragement, confidence, support, physical and mental strengthening, teamwork, ability to deal with bullying, standing up to people who may steer you to do wrong, instilling morals, learning how to control your temper, among other life lessons, and learning how to walk away from a fight, de-escalation. Okay, that's good.
Well, she said Miss Bowen was her teacher at Hannah Elementary, man. That lady there, man.
Wow.
That lady there, bro. I'm sorry, man. I'm talking about she stand out amongst many.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is incredible.
Yeah, doc. And then my high school principal, Mr. Harold McCray. I'm sorry,
I,
man.
I didn't know him personally,
Mm-hmm.
but I do know a lot of people spoke well of him and how he impacted. I think I even heard Monica even speak to him. Yeah.
Bro, when I say he impacted so many young men lives, man, that if it wasn't for him, man, so many young men would be dead. You know, I mean, he just was a different dude, man. I'm talking about dude would be he'd get to work, man, probably about 5:30 in the morning. He wouldn't leave, man, sometimes 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. You don't even know he'd be there. You know what I'm saying? So I remember one time one of our coaches, Coach Ware, he had this old school. I forget what type of car it was, but I had graduated high school by then though. So I used to always just once in a while I used to wash cars in front of the house, and he had I can't remember what the car was, but it was clean though, and I washed it and put it out in front of my house. After I got through it, and Miss McRae came and said, "Boy, you look like you know what you're doing on that thing, there, boy." We used to have so much fun. And it's so ironic that you had this subject. Because normally I look before I jump on in the morning because I wake up and I go back to sleep sometime. But I was just listening. I mean, thinking about my band director, Ricky Richardson. Man, I just gonna call him today and tell him thank you. You know what I'm saying, for his impact in my life and how I'm still in music to this day. Of course, my choir teacher, she's no longer with us, Miss Needley, but Mr. Richardson, man, that dude was a special guy. So, man, I mean, it's so many people impacted my life. So.
Yeah. Well,
I'll be
okay.
talking all day.
So now that you making me think, I'm thinking a little bit. Robert Matthews, man, Fairleigh High School choir director.
Robert
Choir,
Matthews, man, that man.
Robert Matthews, bro. That man had a way of saying Hubert Mays. He would say Hubert Mays. Hubert, get in here, boy.
Yeah, that dude. But I mean, he was the choir teacher at Fairleigh, but he touched so many people's lives just throughout Memphis. You know, I remember when
He was actually at one point he was the band director and the choir director. Then they hired the band director, and so that's how I really got him. And then I kind of migrated over to the choir because all the women was in the choir.
right. Yeah. What's up, Jay?
Rodney says peer pressure, completing any task that you start. Shout out to Sensei Mickey Williams, Sensei Michael Claxton. Man, that's cool. Yeah.
For some reason, I always wanted to do karate or something like that, but I just never did get around to it.
Me too, man. Like because again, I saw people who were doing it were so disciplined in so many
Mhm.
areas. Not only that, most of them were in pretty decent shape. And then I just like the idea of the competition. Like when they had to go out and compete, whether they were competing in class or whatever, man. I just like that idea of that competition. And even now when I'm searching through social media and I run across, you know, there's this one guy I follow. He got both of his daughters doing martial arts. And
Mhm.
they've been doing it since they were little bitty girl, and they be winning, bro. Like you can hear him on the side coaching in the match. He be get him, do this, do that, flip him, turn your hip, flip your hip, and they be winning every time. They get up, and the person, the little kid, they being whoop, be crying. They go over there and hug the little kid. Like I love like the discipline and stuff of martial arts. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, and contrary to popular belief, man, God rest his soul, I'm so glad I had the opportunity to share this with him. That is Matthew, bro. We miss his presence right now. A lot of folks don't get him, but we could tell he ain't around no more. I, uh, I grew up in Jake can attest to this Jimmy that's on here. I grew up in the quartet world, you know what I'm saying? So we had a quartet group. And Thaddeus Matthews back in the day used to be the MC for all of the quartet programs. And he used to also be on a radio station. I can't think of the name of the radio station where all the quartet groups go to live radio station. So we would go in there live with him.
Yeah.
And bro, that dude, when I say was amazing on that microphone doing the quartet programs. And so I had did a karaoke one night at Memphis Night. That was his spot back in the day. And I said, hey man, I just want to tell you, man, thank God for your life and encourage you. I said, I watched you growing up. And I said, I'm actually doing what you did, what you're doing currently. And I just want to, give you your flowers so you can smell them. Man, that dude started crying like a baby, bro. So it's so many people, bro.
Wow.
And I'm gonna say seasons, bro. Seasons was one of the things. I mean, I used to love like right when they get ready to turn fall time, when the fair used to come in town back in the day. We be coming right out of summer into the fall. You get ready to go back to school start, then the fair gonna come. And that was like one of the most amazing times, man. We used to go downtown and go over to Liberty Land and all that stuff. And it ain't like that no more.
Nah, it definitely not, man. It's not at all. So, um, what we're talking about this morning for those who may be popping in and out, what person, place, thing has had the most impact on your life and who you are today as a person? And I was reading, um, it said people, places, and things have a profound impact on a person's life in numerous ways, shaping their development, well-being, and overall quality of life. And so, from a people perspective, we talked about the influences and learning, but we didn't talk about the emotional and psychological well-being. Feeling connected and valued by others boosts happiness, self-confidence, self-worth, while loneliness and lack of social support can negatively impact mental health. And from a place's perspective, the sense of belonging and identity, the physical environments where individuals live, learn, and work contribute to their sense of identity and belonging. Places hold memories, cultural practices, and narratives that can shape a person's understanding of themselves and the world around them. And see, this is what I was talking about with my grandmother's house. Like, you know, there are so many fun memories of just being there, and then there was some memories like that I feel have impacted, like even the way I eat today, and the things I eat, because I watch at my grandmother's house. They had chickens. Sometimes they had hog, pigs over there. Depend, what day you come. I
Hmm.
always had chicken, and I used to watch them slaughter hogs. Hit hit hog over the head with the sludge hammer, shoot it with a 22, hang it up, nice legs, good it, put it out. I watched all that, so it was difficult for me to eat a lot of stuff because I watched them like a chicken. I watched my grandmama wring a chicken neck, boop, and go run around without a head. You know, then she fell the next. We got chicken for dinner. You eat? No, I am not eating. I am not eating Pedro. We didn't name the chickens, and well, I'm not eating Susie. No. So that impacted my life to where I don't too much care for chicken like that. A lot of people I gotta have my child. I'd like I can eat it or not eat it. Like I don't care for it like that.
Yeah.
You know. So but it definitely had an impact. So and also an impact on the health and well-being, the conditions in people's environments, such as access to healthy food. I just talked about the food, safe spaces, and the quality education are referred to as social determinants of health and significantly influence a wide range of healthy and quality of life outcomes and risks. Research suggests that spending time in social places can lead to greater openness, extroversion, and conscientiousness, and reduce anxiety compared to spending time at home. Wow. Shaping personality and behavior. Places can influence how people think, feel, and behave in the moment, and may even contribute to long term personality changes. For example, studies have shown that spending time in social spaces can make people more open minded and less anxious. Wow.
Hmm. That's right.
That-
You one of the individuals that impacted my life. You're the first individual that actually gave me a manager position, and from that one particular opportunity, sped off from me being in corporate America, being in management for 12, 15 years or more. And you played a role in it, and came there as a delivery driver, went from account manager to store to your assistant manager, and went on to get my own store, and then left there and went to Walmart, and then went to Cash America and all kind of other management positions. But you was the individual that started it.
it was sometimes, man, and I often say this. Sometimes you can see something in people that they can't see in themselves.
Hmm.
And I know when we first met, and this is not a knock on anybody else that you had met prior to me, but when we first met, and like we would talk all the time, we would just talk, and you would be so hard on yourself as it relates to the job, and I would like, bro, you just gotta, my thing was I saw a little bit of myself because I was hard on myself at first, and I was like, "You just got to get out there and do it. Just go out there and apply." Then, coming from the background I came from, like in school, I was always smart. If I didn't make good grades in class, it was simply because I just didn't want to.
Right.
Like if I turn it on, I'm getting an A,
Hmm.
easy, you know. But I was too busy trying to be the class clown and all that stuff sometimes.
Hmm.
And so when when I had to figure out like how my life's gonna be when drugs were no longer a factor in my life in terms of me selling, when that wasn't gonna work no more, and I had to figure out how to provide. It didn't take me long to figure that out,
Hmm.
like, and how to navigate through that. So it was easy. Like when you came along, we was having those conversations. It was easy for me to say, Lavelle, let's do blah 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 blah. When you go in there, blah blah blah, and then you were like, "Hey man, it worked. I got the job."
Hmm.
And then from there, it just kind of grew.
What's so crazy though? I'm talking about soon you got the job. I mean, I remember like yesterday. Soon you got this store.
Yeah.
I'm talking about. I think you was working for Rental Center,
Yep.
and then
He called me, and I
Robert.
came over there.
Yeah,
Yep.
Robert went to Rentway. He
Yep.
he gave you and what's my other boy Tommy. He gave all
Tommy.
y'all those stores when he
Yep.
came to Rentway.
Davis. Yeah. All of
Literally,
us. Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
got to the store, they that first or second week, you called me,
Yeah.
and I was there for the long haul.
Well, because when I got there, I had a whole crew, but I figured out real quick, everybody in there was stealing.
Yep, they were tearing that ass up. Old girl
Everybody in
and,
there was
the
stealing.
dark skinned chick, and the dude, I can't remember their name. Because
Man,
Robert called him.
everybody in there was
Robert
stealing.
called him to try to get that equipment back. He said, "Man, they told Robert, man, write that shit off."
Man, we wrote all that stuff off, man. We wrote so much stuff off. And I just called Robert like the first week because it didn't take me long to figure it out. Like within a few days, I said, Robert, I called Robert. I said, Robert, I need all new people. He's like, what you mean? I said, man, everybody in here stealing. Everybody stealing. Only person I didn't narrow down was the assistant manager who was working there. I hadn't narrowed it down with her yet, but I figured that out the next week. She stole the whole daggone deposit, half the deposit,
Yep.
and let her go. And then I said, I got to hire people I trust. Lavelle, you need a job? Yeah, boom. Mario, you need a job? Jerry, you need a job? I call family and friends.
I want to say, like the first week I came here, I didn't even get approved to work.
Man, I hired everybody quick, man, and put everybody to work. And boy, we had fun. We had some fun up in there,
man, bro. I'm talking about. And then I think we was in the last part of what South Memphis was still still emerging and still doing this thing. Like now it's dead as hell over there now, dog.
It's so I can really like so Robert Robinson really he impacted my life in a good way.
Oh yeah.
Too. Because Robert is one of the reasons that I became so good at being a manager. He told me something early on. He said, Tony, people don't care how much you know, because he knew I knew a lot. And I would like, I'm gonna tell you all the stuff I know. He was like, Tony, people don't really want to care. He said, this is what he said. He said, Tony, why you think I hired you? I said, because you want the best. He said, no, I hired you because you're smarter than me. That's what he said. I tend to hire people I think that are smarter than me. If I hire a whole bunch of people that's smarter than me, they're gonna make me look good.
That's how it's supposed to
go. And that was ingenious itself. You know what I'm saying? That was just ingenious. I was like, who? And I was like, let me just try to hire a whole bunch of smart people too. And so I took it. Then he said, people don't want to know how much you know, Tony. They want to know how much you care.
Yeah.
Because we had a situation going on. I was like, Robert, we got something. No. He said, well, let them go take off and go da. And I was like, okay, I just want to check with you. He said, Tony, people don't want to know how much you know. They want to know how much you care. You got to show people that you care. And I took that and I ran with it, bro. And so I never put the job before people.
Right. I was watching Jay Valentine yesterday on a podcast, and he said something that made me think about us since we've been knowing each other. And now I understand my position. But he used the scenario about playing team sports, particularly basketball. And one of the key players, man, on a basketball team is the point guard. And I know, like I am, and you're very similar to me. I'm always trying to give assists. You know what I'm saying? And I want to rack up on those. And he was just saying that the world will be so much better if we understand team, playing, playing as teams and try to make other people better.
Yeah.
And so I respect my role as a point guard. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, that makes so much sense because that's essentially what I try to be. If I can't help you, I don't want to try to hurt you.
Yeah, because you got a lot of people that show up, Lavelle, and they think they got to do it all. Like, I got to do it all. It's like, no, you just do your part. If you're part of the team, do your part and help others succeed in that. Give the handout. You know what I'm saying? Throw the assist. Somebody else, they take it from there and they throw it. So, and I think when you do that, man, it makes for a better, working environment, friendship, all that stuff, man. When you start to do that, and people, when you have people that make everybody else better around them, you like, man, I just want to make everybody better around me. If you make everybody better around you, what does that say for your circle?
Right. Yeah. Another person, man, I got to bring his name up, man. William White, Doc White.
Oh,
man, we met in the 8th grade, and at the time, back in the day, we were still wearing Jerry curls. He had the little Jerry curl with the little V in it, with the little Gucci in the back or whatever. And we was in Spanish class together, so I think I can sing. I can sing pretty good or whatever. So I'm always in class singing or whatever. And so I was at the time. I think Boys and Men was real big at the time, and I was singing one of them Boys and Men songs. William White with all the starter jackets on. I thought he was a thug. Turn around and say, "Hey man, that ain't how you sing this song. Let me show you how to sing it." I said, "God, what the hell?" And bro, from that day in Miss Bailey's Spanish class, we've been inseparable ever since, man. So we
That's why
always
you ain't learn no Spanish. Y'all in there singing boys and
nah, we
men.
in there singing, Doc. Hey, the teacher used to tell us, "Come on, y'all sing something, you and Doc." You know what I'm saying? So we
Sing it
became,
in
man, you
Spanish.
know, yeah, in Spanish. And man, that dude, man, has been a jewel in my life, man. He's my brother. Ever since then, man, since the 8th grade. So that dude there, and another one of my other partners, man, that I grew up with called named Adam Warren. I don't know if you remember Adam. He used to play guitar.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
him.
yeah, we grew up together, man, playing quartet. His grandmama had a we had a group called the Newcomers. All of the children was singing in a little group, and her mama, his grandmama used to make our uniform. We be having little cummerbunds and bow ties on, riding around in the little. She had a van painted with the Newcomers on it. All of us knew us. We used to be on the Orange Maze shows in the morning time on Sundays. And so I go so many memories, bro.
Oh my God,
I'm
that's
surprised
funny.
you don't. You probably know some of his folks and stuff because she stayed in Lakeview Garden.
Could have, bro. Could have.
Mm-hmm.
Rodney said it's not too late to start martial arts. You will become more flexible and get in shape as long as you cool being a beginner along with the cheering. Yeah, like
My knees ain't in like that no more, dog. My knees gone.
mine too, but I still think I could do it. I still think today like I could do it. Like,
We had to do it together, dude, because my knee hurting right now.
but I don't want to do taekwondo. There are other couple other disciplines that I've been looking at, like tai chi, different stuff. Like I wouldn't mind like learning, but I want to learn, like I want to learn martial arts from people who come from countries that where a lot of it originated. Like, because I think you'll get more of the I guess, like I watched this dude who I follow him on social media. He's an older dude, but he he did a lot of the choreography for a lot of movies, you
Mm.
know, and he teaches, and he's a Asian dude, and his son, he his English is kind of broken, but he, man, he's martial art, but he a little dude. And his son speaks really good English, and his son is in his class. So his son is then his son takes over like when he's not there. And I see a lot of black people in his classes. I think he teaches in Atlanta somewhere. But
Mm.
I know it's difficult for me to like get to a class like that in Atlanta. But I would love to like be a part of somebody who, not to knock nobody else.
I
I
get
ain't trying to knock nobody else. I remember Pops and Miles when we used to go up there all the time. They was taking martial art classes, and they used to be in there with the leg stretchers, putting their legs in the leg stretchers, stretching their legs and stuff. We call, yeah. So I remember all of that, man.
mm.
He said Tai Chi is great. I've done it. Yeah, so I remember like they used to be in the class at home with the leg stretcher, put the thing to their leg, whining and stretching their leg out, trying to put it themselves in the split. I was like, boy, I tell every no. So, but yeah, so it's things like that, man. When I tell you, help shape people, places, and things that help shape people life into who they are today. And we have to give credit where credit is due. So even when we talk about, so we talked about the places, we talked about the people, even the things have significant, you know, play a significant role or have a significant impact in who we become. It's a tangible and intangible influences. Things encompass a broad spectrum of influences, including objects, cultural places, experiences, and even abstract concepts. These elements can trigger memories, emotions, and behaviors impacting a person's life in a subtle and profound way. Personal growth and lessons learned. Life experiences, both positive and negative, provide valuable lessons that shape character and understanding. For instance, overcoming challenges or navigating difficult relationships can teach resilience and foster emotional intelligence. Talk about that emotional intelligence. Mental
Mhm.
and emotional well-being elements in a person's environment, including home decor and workplace surroundings, can influence mood, stress levels, and overall mental wellness. Maintaining a comfortable, organized, and positive living and working space can contribute to improved mental health. So, in essence, people, places, and things interact in a complex way to create the tapestry in a person's life. The
Mm.
positive influences of supportive relationships, nurturing environments, and enriching experiences contribute to well being and personal growth. Conversely, exposure to unhealthy environments, negative influence, or challenging experiences can have detrimental effects on an individual's physical and mental health. Understanding the multifaceted impact of these elements empowers individuals to make choices that promote a fulfilling and meaningful life. So, people, places, and things. So when I looked at that, like I said before, we talked about just the people who impact, but it's not just people that impact lot people's lives anymore, or never have. We just kind of dealt with the people, but you got places and things that impact and shape people's lives as well. And so we definitely have to be mindful of those things as well. Pop said, my grandfather, who lived to be 108 years old, he taught me more about life, people, and God. That's awesome.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a
I
long
mean,
time though.
108. Can you imagine the wisdom of a person that's 108? The
Yeah.
stuff that they have seen, been through, and
Wow.
that's one of the reasons why I like talking with elderly people, people who
Mhm.
are elderly. I love talking to elderly people. I know a lot of people don't, they ain't got nothing to tell me. They talk all they can talk about is the old time, but that's what you all want. You all want to know some history, how
Right.
things were, the stuff that we've overcome and that we don't have to deal with no more stuff that they dealt with. That
Mhm.
we don't have to go through or deal with those things anymore.
Right.
Monica says, James and Judy Hall impacted my life tremendously. They showed me Black family unity and real love. Tasia Monique, who was one of my first reasons for not giving up on life. And lastly, my Booski. She had the whole government name.
She sure did that.
Always my encourager, pushing me and himself to do and be better. My safe haven, my protector, the best part of me, my everything, sent just for me, just when I needed him the most. Okay, then.
Hey man, don't be coming on you like this morning, man. Damn. Don't do me.
Okay, then.
Don't do
Yeah.
me. I'm about to be doing all that, man. You sick. Go back to bed.
Ah. So there are people, places, and things that could impact your life tremendously to a point.
I just like you said about older people. I know, like with my daddy, man. I had to give a shout out to him. So back in the day, that's who I kicked it with. My dad and all his coworkers and stuff like that. They, doing their thing. Of course, they were drinking it and kicking it or whatever. And they'll go over one person's house and leave over there, and go to one in the person's house. And then we also used to have what you call red light special parties every weekend. We had the
Mhm.
basement down there, so they had parties every weekend. And when they at our house, it was at one of the other uncle's house named Uncle Bubba. But it was so innocent back then. They were just kicking it, and I learned so much wisdom and just being around them and stuff like that. And it's like a lot of young people not gonna have that opportunity to grow up around more seasoned elderly individuals, like
I
that. And
don't think they even want to.
I
Because
loved it.
because when you even try to get them to come around for family reunion or family events, they don't want to show up,
Yeah.
you know. And one of the things, like I've always told my kids and my nephews and nieces, you know, uh, I said, you never know how you showing up at your grandparents' house and just sitting there. Like my mama absolutely loves it when my kids or my niece or nephew just come out and just sit over there and just talk with her for a while.
Mhm.
Just little Tony came by and said, who he said for a good little while. We just talked and laughed and they loved it. And I tell them that makes You know, and not only that, man, when you look back on that as a, you know, as you get older, you look back on that, especially when that person maybe no longer here. And you said, man, you know, I got a chance to go over there and sit with grandma a lot and granddad and kick it with them and talk to them, and that's why I spend so much time in my grandmother's house. Man, I was around there every day, like around the corner from my house. I was over there every day, man. We were there playing outside, messing with the chickens, playing football. Grandmama, y'all come get something to eat. Y'all come on over here, children, get something to eat. Just the small, all the little small stuff that I remember, man. I remember how she would look, how she would grin with that little gold teeth, you know, on the side. And, you know, just certain things about her, man, like it just stands out like it was yesterday,
Yep.
you know. Uh
Yeah, the
Mother
grandmama house was
Pop
the other house.
Henderson. Shout out to Pops Barry Henderson as well. He is proof that real men do exist. Love you, Pops. You typing that fast, real mean. He is not mean, real mean. Yeah.
We know what she meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, people can impact your life, places can impact your life, and things can definitely impact your life, man. And you know, shape and mold you into who you become. And again, sometimes it's those negative things that you take and you say, you know, that I'm not gonna be that person, or I'm not gonna let that thing discourage me. I'm gonna be, and it makes your life better.
Mm-hmm.
And for sure. Yeah. Man, let's clock that T, man. We've been missing out on our girl for a couple of days. We had a spirited conversation yesterday with Marcus, Doc Holiday. Shout out to Doc Holiday, man, for coming on and sharing with us. But let's bring Queen to the
Good
stage.
morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what time it is. Put them phones down, fingers up. It's time to clock that tea with your girl, Queen Watkins. I hope y'all are having an amazing day. But y'all know what time it is. It's time to clock that tea. Have y'all seen the young lady that's her video is going viral because she's married, but she ain't doing no wifely duties? So the first thing she said was she do not cook for her husband. She don't cook breakfast, lunch, or dinner for her husband. One thing they say is a way to a man's heart is through his wood. Stomach. Oh, okay. So second thing she said she's not paying no bills. She was like, I don't pay bills. I mean, it's supposed to be a provider. I'm not paying anything. It don't matter if he late or can't afford it. I'm not paying for anything. Who you supposed to be? You know how they have like passenger princesses for the car? Who are you supposed to be? That's supposed to be your partner. Better or worse, rich or poor, sickness and health. Did you even say your vows? Do you understand them? Sweetheart, are you a Christian? Because ain't no way. That's not the only thing. She said she only do her and her children's laundry as well. She don't do husband laundry. Mind you, you want husband to go out there and pay them bills, right? You want husband to fend for himself. But you can't even make sure his clothes smell good, like gain aside, with a little downy. Oh, okay. So you expect this man to do all this shit for you. He's married you, right? So old boy must have knew the type of person that you were, because I don't think you done switched up. You really only for you and your kids. That's what you really showing, which is cool. Be a mother. But let's get a little deep. Your husband is supposed to be fed before your children anyway, right? Everybody don't agree with that. I don't give a damn. But husband's supposed to come before parents, children, dogs, cats, whatever the hell. You're supposed to make sure your man good. He makes sure you good, right? But, and girl, then she had the nerve to, yeah, he told me to pack my stuff and go. But I would have packed it for you. You hear me? It would have been waiting on you. Because the man doing everything by himself anyway. So now your little lemon face ass gonna have to do everything for yourself now, right? You already cook for yourself, so you're good. You do the laundry, you're good. But you finna have to pay all them bills. You finna be lonely. Ain't nobody finna want you on no mess like that. Unless you go to have a poly relationship, and the other girl do all that. And all you do is give him the 1-2. You know what I mean? Got to give him a little oral too, because you don't do nothing. Sound like you don't do nothing for these men, for real. But you need to be by yourself. Because everybody going to keep leaving you. Cry me a river. I don't want to give a damn. Because you too confidently saying that you ain't doing nothing, period, for your husband. You're not doing nothing. You ain't got the nerve to cry. Girl, please. I wouldn't even wipe a tear from your eye. You all right? You okay? Now ain't got no chip in your back, do you? You all right? All right, y'all. That's all the tea that I have today. Make sure y'all tune in to 2 Men in Hats, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. And don't forget to stay tuned for your girl, Queen Watkins. Clock that tea. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
Crazy.
Man, I actually saw that video, right? And it was funny because the way, you know how they do that thing a few moments later.
Yeah.
She was on there. She was making her little video. I don't cook my husband. I don't clean. He washes his own clothes. He cook his own food. All I do is clean. I wash clothes for the kids. I do this. A few minutes later, it's like another video. She back up there. I'm so upset. She just crying. My husband has told me to get out. What you expect? You ain't doing nothing no way.
A few moments later.
You ain't doing nothing no way. I was like, at least he woke up and put you out. he probably did it late, but because y'all had kids. But Rodney said, I always used to sit close to old guys as they talk, even if I didn't know them. They knew I was peeping game, trying to learn from them, but they kept on talking and eventually included me in the conversation. That's what's up. Yeah, Rodney. Yeah, she got me with that one too, old lemon face. Eh? She got me with that one too. But the girl, really, man, I see so much of it on social media now. But I think it's kind of like when we talked yesterday with Marcus, I don't know, for some reason, like I really, like, I can't even explain it, but you know how we always talk about how the media paints a certain narrative, right? And I think social media is no different. Like, it only highlights the negative aspects of relationships, the negative women, the negative men, and I think that it represents a very small population of negativeness as it relates. But when we see that, and a lot of people don't know how to separate reality, from real, how to separate reality, like the what's real and what's, the expectations are unreal and what's real. They don't know how to separate that. And I think that's what leads to other issues issues in relationship, because some people are biting into whatever that narrative is on social media, or whatever that narrative is in the media. And I just think, like, it's horrible that, because I know, because I talk to too many married couples that's doing good, but you don't see that on social media.
Yep.
And it's mainly because some people don't want their lives public, don't want to display. Just like Marcus said, you ain't gonna catch my wife in front of no camera. She ain't gonna get in front of no camera, because some people just do not like,
that type of
being put out there, on the front street, and I think that's what makes this podcast, Lavelle, so different and special to me in terms of our viewing audience, because a lot of times we're able to be transparent. And our viewers and listeners are able to be transparent to the point that we don't mind sharing whatever it is that we've experienced or going through to help somebody else. And it's real shit.
Right.
So yeah, man, you know, people, places, and things can have a drastic impact on your life, whether negatively or positively. It just depends on how you take it and use it. You know, I'm not gonna tell you every influence in my life has been positive because I'll be lying.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some negative aspects, whether it was people, things, or places that helped shape me into who I am today. Because I looked at those things and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna rise above whatever that person, place, or thing was. I'm gonna rise above it, and you know, and I feel like that my life is better because I learned from those things.
Mm-hmm.
Whether positive or negative, I learned from those things, and I was able to, when I look back, like now, bro, I don't know if I necessarily would have done anything differently in my life. I think that's a conversation we need to probably have when they like to say, if you looking at your life right now and looking back, would you go back and change anything about your life now? Some people would, because but just looking back in hindsight and some of the experiences I've had, I don't necessarily think I would probably change anything.
No, no, because I believe everything that occurred and was allowed to happen shaped me for who I am today.
Right.
Uh, and if in fact that if you're able to I don't know, do better than what you thought missed out on. I mean, you can
Right.
correct those opportunities. But now, bro, my life ain't in my hands, doc. You know what I'm saying?
I think a good example of that, and then, you know, not only that, Lavelle, it's like, would you really want to go back and alter the, because it may change something else that you really like about your life. You see
Right.
what I'm
You know,
saying?
we had this
Yeah.
conversation with Newton and
The
them
blue
folks.
pill, red pill. I think when we talk about the
Yeah,
blue pill,
yeah,
red pill. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Now, bro, I've had some very dark opportunities in my life, early in my young life, and some of those things we were gonna bounce back from, and look at and seeing now, like wow, I'm still able
it's
to.
it's it's a movie. It's a movie that's out now. It's called
Mhm.
Old Guard 2.
Call what?
Old Guard 2.
Okay.
But the first one, um, Old Guard, and it's a good action packed movie. But the significance of the movie, what I like about it, when this black guy who was working for the government, when he really figured out, he kind of put it all together, man. And, in a short time, he kind of looked at it, looked through history, and he tracked this one person who he thought was was an immortal. When she was immortal, and but he looked throughout history, and she was always popping up somewhere, and everywhere she saved a life,
Hmm.
maybe not directly that person did something, but somebody in their lineage went on to do something great.
Hmm.
And so that's why I said it's probably not cool to go back and alter, because if they had to went back and altered the future any kind of way, what had happened, whoever life she saved and all that, that person, like one person had a cure for something, one person went on to be a Nobel Peace Prize winner, some person went on to do that. Yeah, when she saved people throughout history's time. So when when he ran across and he showed her, like, you was here and this was you in 17, this was you in 18, so and so, this was you in 19, and you say this person, and that person's great grandchild went on to become this and that, and he showed her all of that, the significance of it. And so now Old Guard 2 is kind of like a jump off of that, and uh it's kind of continuing the same thing, but it kind of goes back to like the history of them and it being immortal, and who was the first immortal and all that stuff. But you got to see it, man, if you ain't never seen it.
Is it on Netflix or what?
Yeah,
How
it's
you
on
watch?
Netflix. It's
Okay.
on Netflix. Yeah. Old Guard 2 just came out. It went straight to Netflix. Yeah.
Well,
I
I seem
think
like
it
I
was
saw
I
that
think it
though.
was a Netflix original anyway, huh?
For some reason, I think I don't saw it though.
Yeah, with what's her name? I love because her eyes. I always say her eyes are just so piercing. Uh, um, Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Me and Don watched it.
Yep.
I didn't know they did a part 2 though.
Yeah, they did that. Part 2 just came out. Rodney said those lonely, desperate, negative, broke people are willing to sacrifice themselves for $1 on the internet. The good folks don't have to subject themselves to that negativity in front of a camera. Bet.
Mhm.
Pop said, y'all are right. I wouldn't change the past. If things were different, I wouldn't have met Monica and fell in love with her as a child. One event leads to another, all with God's purpose in mind. Come on in here.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I would change nothing because I think it would if I wanted to change something different, like even from a financial perspective, it may alter something totally different that I'm totally fine with, happy with, you know.
Mhm.
All right, well, we got to get out of here, y'all. We hope you guys continue the conversation over in our 2 Minute Hats group and a 2 Minute Hats fan page. Continue the conversation. We can continue to add comments to this post even after we're off live. You can continue to add comments and just weigh in. We do understand that a lot of people throughout the day go back and watch it that may be at work during the times that we come on, and we totally understand that. And I'm trying to learn how to do these clips, and I figured out, I think, a little bit of how to break these clips down. But what I got to get with Lavelle on is how we can have like our we can have some like introduction piece, a little 20-second introduction piece, or like follow us on YouTube and take us to the clip and then take us out back to, you know, how they do on a lot of these things. We just got to figure that part out. But I figured out how to make the clip itself, but it's just plain as a clip itself, if that makes sense. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. We appreciate you as always, man. We love you guys, man. And I tell you, like, I wouldn't want to be doing anything else right now. So thank you guys so much. Lavelle, final thoughts and prayer.
Y'all be in prayer for my wife Dawn. She been having some issues with her eyes, her left eye, and come to find out that they went through all these different scenarios and tests and stuff like that. It was a retina that was detached. So either between the day or either Monday morning she'll be having surgery. So y'all be in prayer for her. So she's gonna be good. As far as eyes is concerned, I don't been through so much of this. So if I don't been through it and got through it, she's gonna be all right on that part, because I can't nobody talk about no eyes like my eyes. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway. But yeah, so be in prayer for Dawn, and that she rest in peace as far as her mindset of going through this. Because I don't think she never had it. No more than getting glasses. She just never really had a thing done with her eyes like this. So. But
Yeah, we'll
let's
keep
get on that. Lord God, we thank you for this day. Thank you for this time. Thank you for just waking us this morning, giving us a reasonable portion of health and strength. Lord God, continue to touch all of our efforts. Lord God, we ask you to continue to touch Tony and Monica as they're going through their grieving process. Lord God, we ask you to touch Dawn as she's had to go through her situation with her eyes, and they ask you to touch the doctor's hands and touch all the nurses and everything that has to go into their procedure. Continue to touch everyone that's connected to her. Touch Queen and her family, and continue to touch all of our efforts. Lord God, continue to watch us out for us to the weekend, and then we have a productive weekend. And we actually do all this in your son Jesus' name. We said amen.
Amen. Man, we'll see you guys Monday morning, same bat time.
Same that place.
2 Minute Hats. Let's talk about it.
It's the 2 Minute Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hats podcast.